Good afternoon. Welcome to this plant-based wonderland. I'm Alice and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing uh, my story of why I no longer wear makeup. So let's just get right into it. So I used to wear a lot of makeup. I used to wear makeup all the time, like every day. And well, I wasn't allowed to wear it at school, so I'd wear it on the weekends. And I would then in sixth form, when I was allowed to wear makeup, I ended up wearing it every single day. And it was like a ritual. It was quite nice. It made me feel good. It gives you that little bit of confidence. But it slowly became a sort of a cover up for my insecurities, and I had quite low self esteem and quite bad body image at the time, and um, basically uh, I every day I ended up sort of putting on a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, and from starting off with basically just a bit of eyeliner and mascara, ended up being with like a full face every single day. Um, and it was at a point where I couldn't leave the house without having some sort of makeup on. Um, it by the end, it sort of got to a point where I could barely even be with my family without at least some mascara on, which was a real low point. Um, and basically, I was just a very insecure person, and I just didn't see my beauty for what it was. I didn't believe that I was beautiful or could be called beautiful, or that adjective could be associated with me at all. And basically, I sort of suffered in silence a bit, and my best friend, she called me beautiful or hot or awesome every single day, and I just could not believe her. I just sort of, in my head, I was just like, no, no, like she's just a nice person. Um, and basically, I got to a point where I was so insecure, and actually, my mental health probably wasn't that great because I was sort of thinking about jumping in front of a train, um, and I sort of believed so many lies about myself, that I was ugly and awful, and um, I believed that my face was too ugly for people to see, that if I went outside the house without makeup on, people would be physically sick by seeing my face, because it was that disgusting, and that the makeup I wore made it just about bearable, so that people wouldn't physically vomit as they saw me walking down the street. So, not the best thoughts to be having as a teenager. I was about 17. Um, but yes, so that was going through my head all the time, um, and it wasn't healthy, of course. And then these thoughts sort of got worse and worse, and it got to a point where my best friends, even in my head, I just thought that they weren't even my friends, that they were just nice people who let me hang out with them. They didn't even, like, as if they weren't even my real friends, even though I'd been friends with them for years. Um, so obviously not a healthy mindset. And so this was carrying on through from September all the way through to sort of March, April in my first year of sixth form, and that's the second last year of school. Um, and basically, I then went to a Christian camp, like a youth camp where you'd like study for your exams, but also like have some fun time with your friends and do some worship, and have some time praying, and just chilling together. Really, it was just really sweet and nice. And I'd been on one of these kind of things every year. And the younger ones, you didn't have to revise for exams. Um, and basically, one of the leaders, the female leaders, she shared her story about how she used to be addicted to makeup, mascara really, and she sort of shared her story about being freed from that addiction, and um, she then sort of tasked us girls in the room to, it was an all girls seminar, and uh, she tasked us all to shut our eyes and to really think about what it would be like if we walked into school or went and saw our friends without wearing any makeup at all. And basically what at first I just thought, oh, I'll be fine, whatever. And then I opened my eyes and realised that everybody was taking some time over this, so I was like, okay, I better try this, really think about it. So I shut my eyes and I sort of took a breath, and I suddenly had crazy wave of panic. I wanted to get out of there, like I couldn't believe that, like, ugh. And in that moment I realised that it was a real problem in my life. At that point I hadn't really realised what was going on in my head, that it was that those thoughts might not be true. And that seminar made me realise that actually I I use makeup as a security blanket, and as a I would be fearful if people saw me without makeup on. And so so then throughout the week at this camp, I there was another talk, and the talk was on the Bible verse, being fearfully and wonderfully made, which is really beautiful and powerful, but often you don't really know what it means. Like, obviously you can understand wonderful, but we don't really use the term fearful. So the girl doing the talk, she told us that fearful in this context means to be in awe of. So God is in awe of what he has made in us, in each of us, which I think is incredible. Like, he loves and cherishes each of us on this earth. And at that point, I was like, okay, maybe God did like what he made when he made me, but look what I've done. I've ruined it. I've made it fat. I've made it ugly. It's disgusting. I can't believe, like, I'm even here. And so that, and then, so further, those lies were sort of taken off me later on, when a girl came up to me and she shared a word that she'd had from God. She said, I think God is just telling me to tell you that you're beautiful. And I was like, and I sort of broke down crying, and was thanking her so much. And she reminded me that she'd come up to me the year before with that exact same word, and I had said no point blank in her face. That she said, you're beautiful, Alice. God has told me to tell you this. And I said no. I said no, 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 no. So this was the kind of level of what was going on. And then, so further to that, I still didn't fully believe that I was beautiful, that I was even pretty. I thought that, okay, I'm all right. And then we were singing the song Good Good Father by House Fires, and this song has ended up meaning so much to me, where, so in the song the main chorus is, you're a good good father, that's who you are, that's who you are. And I believed that wholeheartedly. I was singing that with all my heart, singing, you're a good, good father, that's who you are, that is your identity, you are good, you're so good to me, God. And I really I loved God all my life, so, and I was really singing it with all my heart. And then the next bit, and I'm loved by you, that's who I am, that's who I am. I couldn't sing. With all these realizations going on in my head, I couldn't really fathom what was going on. Like, I realised that I was singing the first half of this with all my heart, like, this is truth. Why did I not believe the second half, that I was truly and fully loved by God? Like, I didn't comprehend this properly until this moment, that I really wanted my identity to be that I was loved by God. I knew that I was loved by God, but I didn't live it in my identity. And I realised it was linked to my identity with this song saying, that's who I am, that's who I am. I didn't live every day with knowing that God loves me so incredibly much. Jesus died for me so that I could be free from all of this. and set free from all of my sins. So basically, this sort of was going on, and I just sort of broke down crying because I couldn't sing, but I really desperately wanted to believe that I was loved by God, because I knew it to be true, but I didn't believe it in my heart, if that makes sense. Um, and so I sort of cried out to God that I would know that know His love, and that it would be my identity that I was loved by Him, that I could walk freely because I know His love, and that truly is what set me fully free. And I could say that I was beautiful, and I could and I believed it, and I could accept compliments finally. It was still a bit weird, but I got used to it, and it was a really incredible experience. I really yeah is and if anybody wants freedom watching this, you can have it too. Just ask God to show him his love, his utter and complete love, because you are intended. If you're on this earth, you are intended. God created you, He knitted you together in your mum's womb. He thought of you before the world even began. He had thought up each and every part of you before the world was even created. We are intended beings. And further to this story, just a little epilogue. And I then sort of heard from God at the end of this week that I should. He asked me to stop wearing makeup basically, and I was really scared, and I didn't want to. I really wanted to continue because there was still that level of what will other. I know I'm free, but what will other people think seeing my face so different after I have worn makeup for so long, and people haven't really seen my face without makeup. And so I then went back to school after the holidays, and went in with no makeup on, and I was so petrified and looking intently at people as they saw me, as they greeted me, as they looked at me in the hallways, like what they might be thinking of me, because that was a real insecurity of mine, of what people would be thinking of me. And then sort of it was either afternoon in first day or second day at school, and my best friend, she asked me, "Oh, Alice, have you stopped wearing makeup?" And I was like, um yes. And she was like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." And it just warmed my heart so much, and it encouraged me to not wear makeup, continue not wearing makeup, that I didn't need to go back to makeup. um and so uh that just sort of pleased me a lot. And then a couple of weeks down the line, a friend who was sort of, I didn't know her that well, but we sort of said hello in the corridor kind of thing. We ended up washing our hands at the same time in the bathroom, and she sort of was like, "Oh, Alice, have you stopped wearing makeup?" And I sort of nervously said, yes." And she was like, "Oh, I can see your eyes, they're so beautiful and blue." And like that, for me, for someone who I didn't spend time with every day and just sort of saw around occasionally, to say you're beautiful, oh, and to notice that I've stopped wearing makeup, and to comment like that, it was just so heartwarming and really encouraging, what I needed, to sort of spur me on in not wearing makeup. And it didn't mean that it wasn't challenging going forward, so it was really easy to just sort of, it was not easy, but it was easy to just sort of, easier to just cut it out cold turkey. But then came the challenge of like parties and big events, and we had this one big family party, and my mum was like, "Oh, can you put some makeup on?" And I was just so scared, so scared in my heart, because it, literally, it's fine if you just stay away from it, but if you're addicted to something, and you've been away from it, it's quite easy to be just removed from it at all, like completely. But to then, for me, wear makeup again, it was really difficult. The next, when I'd got so many compliments when I'd been all dressed up with makeup and a nice dress and all of that, when I then the next day had, when you have like remnants of mascara and makeup on your face, even though you've taken it off, I was so like, "Oh, I'm only beautiful when I've got makeup on again," just because I'd got so many compliments. I was like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough without makeup on. So that next morning, I remember being in front of the mirror, and I'd taken the mascara wand out of the tube, and I'd lifted it to my eye. I hadn't put any on yet, and I said, and I was sort of shaking, like wanting to put it on because it would make me more beautiful, but also really not wanting to put it on and not fall back into that addiction and to that negative headspace. And so I was there holding the mascara, and I just stared at myself in the mirror, and I said, "Devil, get out of my head. You have no right here." And I said, come Jesus, bring freedom here. And you know what? It took a lot of strength to put that mascara wand down, but I did, and it just broke into another level of freedom, that I knew I had control over my thoughts, over my use of makeup, that I was not controlled by it. So and these things kept happening. It was just God being so good to me, and also my perseverance in wanting to be free from it, that has led me to be completely fine and completely free. And now I don't wear makeup at all, and I don't really even think about it. It's not really a concern for me. I know that I'm beautiful, and God really taught me through this all that your beauty is not this, it's your heart. Your heart is what matters. And real beauty comes from within, and your actions, your thoughts, your words, your kindness, your goodness, your peace and joy and laughter, it's not at all how you look. Like, you're not, when you look at your friends, you don't look at them and judge them, like, oh, I don't want to be friends with them because they're ugly. No, you're friends with someone because of their personality, because of who they are, and that's what really matters. That's what true beauty is. So my story is all about knowing Jesus's love fully in your heart, and that completely taking hold in your identity in such a good way, in that it frees you from insecurities and needing to please others to feel beautiful, or to rely on compliments for beauty, because I know that my beauty is held in Jesus, in the fact that He made me. It's not in how I look, it's not in anything other than the fact that God loves me. And it's the same for you too. He loves you so much. I hope that this story will bring freedom in at least one person's life. Uh, I hope that I've shared what I should share. That's my story. Any questions or comments, you just leave down below. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.